I rate Assassin's Creed Shadows as one of top game of the franchise. In fact, so much so that I rate its overall all of that other RPG Assassin's Creed games, Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. It being said, I do have some grips that I will list, being as spoiler free as possible. The points are all assuming that you are not playing in the more linear assisted or canon modes. I am also aware that some of these are due to the way I play, however I do know for a fact I am not the only person who plays in this way. The game is extremely open. This can at times be to its detriment. For example, you can randomly come across characters that are hostile but not know why. Upon defeating them, you are prompted in your objectives tree that they are part of an unknown organization. That's all well and good, however, the game never informs you how to find out more about said organization, meaning you can end up killing an entire group of people, find out who they were after, and possibly discover that could have spared some of them or follow a different story threads other than kill, kill, kill. Having to use Scout to find your objective or person to talk to is a fun mechanic, until it's not, which happens very quickly. Again, this is another thing that would be an issue in the assistant mode where the game slightly pushes you where to go. But for having to do the map scan crap in a location every time you want to find an objective is objectively awful. It was also far too easy to accidentally switch mission lines because the game just did not auto-select the next mission in the line I was currently doing found myself lost in terms of story on more than one auctionly. Another point about the map being open, the Kata Kuji Kiri should not be available until the flashback mission introducing them have been completed. Once again trying to remain spoiler free here, but I'm the kind of the gamer who likes to do as much side content as it comes up because I won't go back to it if I blast the main story past. Kata and Kiri are side minigames for Yasuke and Naoya respectively that exist solely to progress their skill tree. However, I did not get to the side mission for Yasuke backstory flashback until 60 hours into the game. Kata is introduced their brand new thing in one of the mission despite the fact I had do nearly 20 of the things. Leading me to my next point, the Kujikiri for Neon should actually have been reserved for much later in the main story. While the kata for Yasuke's training forms with weapon, the Kirikiri for Neon seems much more emotional and deep from a story perspective, where she herself seems to be gauging perspective and finding here Calm Kencher. This is fine expect for the fact that once again I did all this be before progression in the main story. Then when it came to the main story, she was back to be very angry and vengeful out of now here. With Yasuke being her calming counterpart, I actually like the dynamics between the two of them. But with having done the Curie before the main story, it very much felt like a character grasping for Naoya. With all of that being said, there's a lot to love about this game. The hideout customization is really nice. The dynamic between Yasuke and Naoya is actually fantastically executed in my opinion. They generally seems like stranger turned allies turned friends. The weapon gear system are like the hideout detailed but not so intricate that it's off-putting transform from the beginning for weapon. Weapon variety for Yasuke is very nice, slightly more limited for Naoya, but it has been confirmed that more are coming. The gameplay difference between Naoya and Yasuke are so significant, it actually feels worthwhile using both for different scenarios. The steals and parkour for Naoya are brilliant. Perhaps not Unity level of good, but definitely really good. Skill trees and abilities are detailed, variety and honestly pretty damn sick to use. Story items are very cool looking and fantastical, but absolutely unobtrusive, not required to be interacted with at all. The map is freaking gorgeous, detailed and very true. I found myself just having to look around at point. Main story is actually quite good and engaging. It's pretty awesome that free story drops are coming out semi-regularly. From speaking with friends who have also played, it is entirely possible to experience the same story in different ways. I can explain the means without spoiling, but it's really cool. Do I recommend it playing AC Shadows? Yes, but with the aside story and canon modes turned on. I feel the game functional better as a linear story with open world elements rather than a full RPGs. The way Assassin's Creed as franchise has always worked better, so it's generally great that points is available to see in the players. Thank you for watching guys, and see you later my friends. Goodbye.